All right. Screen down. Screen up here. Browser has lost connection with your camera. Make sure you have the right camera. So, just 1 second. We'll be right. We're going to be coming on just in a second. Sorry about that. Welcome to Warrior Class.
Where the teachers whoop ass, and you will too if you pass.
We actually just said that, but we reviewed it and didn't realize it. So, glad to see everyone. How y'all doing? Sharing the broadcast.
I'm Manifesto, Niamdi, and our good brother Eugene Mason.
Okay, we got folks up in here already.
Good to see y'all.
We got about 20 folks up in the chat. Peace, everybody. I'm sure everybody's hitting the like, and yes, we got the volume. We sorry about that. Excuse us. You know how we're a little janky, but we getting it together. So this is get that just right there. This is the interview. So we're gonna Balagoon will be joining us, but he's running late. His Uber driver had to stop for some pancakes at the IHOP. You know what I'm saying? That's he's working on his hypoglycemia, and that's what he,
veggie sausage.
You know what I'm saying? So that's where we're at right now. But we're gonna jump right into it. We're gonna get started. Yeah.
We are going to expose the petty.
Okay. So we're gonna get right into it.
We were going to expose the petty bourgeois hiding out in the survival and preparedness community, but our guest, who calls himself the Radical Professor, contacted us and named a number of issues with Warrior Class, and even believes that we could bring about the wrath of the police and other agents of the state upon us all. So I guess the petty bourgeoisie aren't just hiding out; they're right here in our faces.
Well, let's bring our guest and jump right into it. Let's welcome Grandmaster Dr. Wokimbo Simmons. Okay,
hello.
Peace.
Hello.
Peace.
Hey, y'all folks. Where's Bala? Vagabond?
Dr. Simmons, we can't see you.
You can't. This is sharing my camera.
No, we can't see you, folks.
But just round my voice, man. You have to ditch this junky system, y'all. But okay.
Dr. Simmons, please tell us about you.
My name is Wokimbo Simmons. And yes, that's my government. I'm Grandmaster of Aikijutsu, red and white belt. Not just simple black belt like y'all. I'm Grandmaster, red and white belt, which means I'm 10th Dan and the representative of Aikijutsu worldwide. I'm also a professor of Black Studies at Chicago State University, and I'm called the Radical Professor because I speak to the brutalization, bastardization, abuse, and misuse of the black woman, man, and child under white supremacy. Whether it was the mask of imperialism, the mask of capitalism, or the mask of militarization of the police.
Okay, now you say you speak to these things, but do you do anything to combat these things?
See, word class is always talking about combat this, combat that. Martial arts and self-defense aren't about combat. The martial arts are about controlling ourselves and proving we are always in the right. So we are justified in protecting ourselves.
I mean, maybe that's Aikijutsu's view, but how can you say that is the way for all of us?
Because I'm a Grandmaster. I've been trained since I was 11 years old, so that's 40 years, young lady. How long you been training?
Well, Balogun has been training for 51 years, and he would disagree with you.
I respect Balogun, and yes, he's trained longer than me, but I'm older than him. But I lived with my sensei for 3 years.
That's not a family member. That's kind of strange. Yeah, because Baba Balagoon lived with his teacher most of his life because his teacher was his father. So
we'll agree to disagree.
Huh? Okay. Tell us what Aikijutsu is. I must admit I've never heard of that.
Most haven't heard because most aren't as hard or combat ready as they think. Aikijutsu is almost totally unknown in the United States. Most senior students of Aikido know that their art descended from Aikijutsu. Okay? But because of its adherence to tradition and its insistence on retaining most of the more painful and deadly self-defense techniques, the martial art has remained relatively obscure except to a serious few. Aikido is mainly based on using the opponent's weight against himself to execute smooth joint locks and throws. Aikijutsu uses the same locks and throws as Aikido, along with punches and kicks. Aikido has a softer style. Aikijutsu has a harder style. Aikido has a defensive nature. Aikijutsu has an offensive nature. You hear me, boy? Aikido seeks to subdue or control an opponent. Aikijutsu intends to kill or cripple an opponent.
So basically, it's Aikido with some karate mixed in.
Nah. Where karate is rigid, we float like a stream. Where karate has forms, we have technique.
Okay. All right.
Understand me, boy?
Your bio says that you are married to a beautiful African woman.
Oh, yeah.
But your photos with her show that she is blonde-haired, blue-eyed white woman. Can you explain that?
Yeah.
My wife is from Joburg, South Africa, Johannesburg, for the study. As her parent, that she grew up her whole life. Yeah, she is just as African as you and I, maybe more so, because she was born and raised there. You know, that's another conversation, but she at least as African as you and I.
Historically, the term African never had an ambiguous meaning. To Africans today, it still doesn't have any ambiguous meaning. Africans across the continent and in the diaspora have long understood its meaning to refer to them as Black people.
And Dr. Simmons, Europeans who invaded and settled Africa assumed the national identities of countries that they took as their own. Their descendants assumed the national identity of those countries they colonized, not the racial identity as Africans. They remain whites or Europeans, oppressors of Africans. No white person can either through birth or naturalization assume an identity of an African. African is not and has never been a national identity. Nowhere does a country called Africa exist. African is a cultural identity that whites cannot claim.
Where's Baldwin? You all have not put in enough work to bring me this smoke.
Don't forget that, like Baba would say, the master blacksmith in one town is a student blacksmith in another.
I wish you could see me rolling my eyes right now.
We wish we could.
You want smoke?
We want answers.
You want smoke?
We want you to tell us where we're endangering our people. That's what you said, right?
Right. Yeah. Start there.
When Balcone talks about stabbing people, it tells you not to trust the Chinese police and even fight them. Even the good cops take off plans. They know he means American law enforcement.
How do you know Balagoon means American law enforcement when he never said that?
Because living has taught me to read between the lines, young lady.
You say even the good cops. Where they at? What evidence do you have that good cops exist?
I've never seen one.
My wife is a Chicago police homicide detective sergeant. What?
Okay. So what evidence do you have that she's good? Not skilled, but good.
You insult my wife, son?
No.
I'm from Robert Taylor home. We don't play that.
You tell her? I'm tell her. Went to North Carolina. Yeah, tell her home too. I grew up there too.
No. The Rutgers Project in Chicago. We pull up on cats.
My mom is from there, first of all. And all those projects have been turned down. Did you pull up on the white folks who made hundreds of thousands of people homeless doing that?
Folks ain't pulling up on nobody, man. You really earned the Karate Coon Award.
The what?
The Karate Coon Award. You're the first recipient.
I reject that. Like y'all friend Kalani say, I reject that.
You might reject it, but you are cool. But
Define coon.
Coon, derived from raccoon, originates from a minstrel character. Zip Coon, first portrayed in the 1830s by a white actor in blackface. The coon developed into the most blatantly degrading of all black stereotypes. No account, unreliable, crazy, lazy, good for nothing, more than eating chicken and watermelons, stealing chickens, shooting craps, or butchering the English language.
Black folks have repurposed coon, transforming it into a word to identify a certain type of black people who betray the race. A black person who puts on a specific performance for white people in exchange for the social reward white folks can grant. I dance the way you want me to type of, and you shower me with benefits I covet.
Pat on the head.
Right.
Now, look, y'all say I'm a coon. Everybody else calls me the right professor.
As Baba Daruba Ben Wahad says, radical is just a position a little more extreme than the middle position. You're acceptable, you seek to reform but not abolish. Radical change, instead of taking 2 knees for massa, you take 1 knee.
I'm out.
Be safe out there.
Well, y'all,
we
heard from Dr. Wokimbo Simmons. Maybe we'll get him back in here when Baba Balagoon's here.
Yeah.
That would be great. I cannot wait for them to meet.
Speaking of Baba.
Hey, peace, y'all.
Hey, Baba.
What's going on?
Baba, you missed it. Baba. Oh my goodness.
How'd it go?
You're gonna have to watch the playback.
He earned this award, I tell you that. He earned this award.
Dude was Conan.
Absolutely.
Hey, peace, everybody. Peace.
Oh my goodness. Let's sit back up here. Ah, man.
Yeah, well,
where you find this dude at?
Well, let's get into 2 techniques commonly used in Aikijutsu. I was, I've been there on time. Oh, dude was having a hypoglycemic episode. My Uber driver, I'm like, why don't you, take care of this episode before you pick my ass up? But anyway, so he had to go to IHOP, get him some pancakes, some syrup, all that sugar, and that raised his blood sugar. His blood sugar was low, so that raised his blood sugar. Hey, we hope he was good enough to drive me here. I started to get somebody else. He was good enough to drive me here. He didn't go into like a diabetic coma, no shit.
You said you knew this driver? Or
No, I said I wish his ass had gone IHOP for me.
Oh, wow.
It's Wokimbo.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I thought Wokimbo was coming back. I heard that blue. Well, we're gonna get into two techniques, or a couple, maybe three, commonly used in Aikijutsu. That's used on.
So you are familiar with Aikijutsu?
Yeah. So Aikijutsu. Peace, everybody. Let me see. Free the. I understand. It's a lot of folk in here. I ain't saying. Oh, the comments ain't up for some reason. Hold on, let me see. Oh, his whole argument when he was trying to make a claim, he got cut off. He was doing the most, shaking my head. Greetings, Chief.
I'm talking about that Coon.
Greetings, y'all. Honor and respect. Peace to Darian, Eugene Mason, Namdi, ex-revolutionary, Casey McIver.
Black Timbo.
I reject that. Black Timbo. You Jack, what happened? Let me see. Yebo says I just read the show notes, laughing my ass off. Let's see here. Yebo Master. That Grady voice is something else. Wokimbo Slice.
Right, exactly.
Let's see here. Sounds like Balagoon. Were you saying stuff I was saying? Shit. Was he saying stuff that united with us?
Well, you did have similar views, it appeared. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Oh, I was shocked because
I with the Coon Award.
I gave the man the damn Coon Award. I hope you know.
No, he was definitely he was cool.
See, you said you reject that. I was laughing. Okay, so
technique time.
Yeah. So Aikijutsu, yes, Omega, I know what it is. It's the founder of the father mother of Aikido. So
that was true.
Oh yeah, you see techniques smoothed out in Aikido. You know how they're real circular and everything. Mm-hmm. They're not circular like that in Aikijutsu. But it's the same locks and throws. They usually open it up with a strike and then they go into the lock and throw.
Okay.
So that was really for samurai combat. They'll have weapons in it. So in Aikido, there are no weapons except the staff.
Right.
They have bladed weapons. It's a Joe staff. It's about 4 feet long. It's exactly 4 feet long. It's based on the samurai sword. Okay. And their hand movements. That's why you see Aikido doing those hand movements like that. Big hand is based on the samurai sword. Those are samurai sword strikes. And then they move out the way and they throw. That's why they're moving out the way, as opposed to like a karate block out the way. You're not doing that to a sword. So that makes sense because it comes from Aikijutsu. But its execution in Aikido was lost. So when the stuff you see in the movie, so Steven Seagal is a 7-degree black belt, maybe more now in Aikido.
Right.
But in the movies that you saw, really that's how Aikijutsu would have applied things. You see him hitting and stuff like that. When I tell you, a brother told me, hitting is unhonorable, headbutting and not throwing, but hitting, kicking is unhonorable, using tools. That was an Aikido master.
that's the way they real believe in peace and helping.
Well, harmony.
Harmony. That's what it is.
But so Aiki means harmony. So Aikido means, I believe it. Aikido is the way.
Yeah.
So Aikido is the way. Those are really aesthetic arts. Karate Do is the way. Judo. Judo is effective though.
Miyagi-Do.
At Miyagi-Do, Lord, yeah, that's about as good.
Mm-hmm.
When you jujitsu though versus judo is more effective because jujitsu is like, now that's one thing about the jitsus, Aikijutsu, jujitsu. Is we use all the original killing deadly techniques. Then you ain't teaching.
Mm-hmm.
If you're teaching the deadly killing techniques and you're Japanese or using from a Japanese art, the stuff they're talking about deadly, eye pokes and shit like that, you can't train that. You can't train it. You certainly can't train it under combat condition. The African, every technique that we do, throwing, when we're using the blade, we have come up with training modalities that allow us to teach that shit in real time. Okay, but that's not their reality. Sure. So when they have things they're talking about, we're teaching these killing, and then when we're talking, we're teaching killing technique. We're teaching technique. If it kills, it kills.
Right. That's usually up to you.
Right. It's up to you, or up to the circumstance. Because if I get ready, I'm gonna kill this motherfucker. But it's 10 million people out there filming. It's up to me and them.
Right. We
have set the parameters of this combat based on what's going on around you.
And he has to agree to that too.
Who, the person? Yeah,
you got to agree to
it. Well, he got it because his ass should have ran.
Right.
So he has to agree. Yes, he's agreed. We call that the beautiful death.
I just talked about it yesterday.
So you're going to do so and so, and I'm going to send you there. I'm going to move what you're doing and hit you. So our idea is harmonizing too. We're not going force against force, right?
I explained that to our visitor, which I wanted
to Wokimbo.
No, the visitor that came to our class. I wanted to briefly mention that.
Okay.
Real quick.
Well, yeah, I just want to mention one quick thing. If you were on game night last night, thank you for viewing.
Thank you. We appreciate y'all, man. Y'all were wait a minute, hold up.
Those who didn't make it, well, I know.
First of all, saying the Slim Jesus thing, taking it too far.
Now they call him Slim Jesus, Little Jesus. Now, also,
Big Jesus.
To define the man, just so you know, the man is not. It's not a disclaimer in that, so it's not the white man. It's the man could be a woman. The man is the state. The man is our oppressors. Y'all got me?
Right. The man is the informant. The man is the agent.
The police, the snitch. They are the man.
And when trying to,
so we stick it to the man. We stick it to the man.
And anytime you're talking, that revolutionary type talk, and the first place you got to look at is at home first. You got to clean up around your spot before you can go out.
Now on that, was Wokimbo radical?
He was radically ridiculous.
He was
ridiculous. That's what he was.
Okay, so now you had something to say about
so
our visitor.
I want to talk about etiquette, so to speak. So because we are on social media, we are in the public eye, and we do, we out here talking, and sometimes we have opinions and views that are polarizing, and people come up in, they say all type of stuff. We don't know who is who because we're in the public eye. I'm trying to paint a picture so y'all can understand, because some people don't communicate as well as other people. And you may be trying to communicate one thing, but you're saying something else to somebody like me, looking at what you're saying. So I'm only mentioning that because there was a brother who We actually mentioned on the last show. Somebody had
he loved to share his knowledge with us.
He said he loved to share his knowledge with you. He posted on our page, "Hey, are you in Atlanta?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Hey, I want to come by. I love to share my knowledge with you." And first of all, looked like a young dude. How much knowledge dude got? What is he figuring that he's gonna share? It just sounded funny. It didn't.
Right. Maybe a veiled threat.
Right. It wasn't communicated once because he showed up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He showed up and he wasn't on the type of time that I have to. I'm trying to pick the right words. I have to see him, and he's a stranger to me. No matter what his intentions was, I have to assume, certain things about him. And because he couldn't, he said, "Hey, I'm the guy that said I wanted to come and share." I said, "Okay, give me 1 second." Put stuff together. Hit Bob and said, "Oh, that dude here. I'm talking to holler at him." So I said, "Okay, bro, what you want to share?" And he got choked up. He's like, "Well, can I show you?" I said, "Yeah, you can show me. You can articulate. You can do whatever you want. We can't touch hands though, but you can explain it to me." And he was having a real hard time explaining to his techniques, his philosophies, the things that we talk about all the time. And I said something. So I said, sometimes until you ask the question, you never really think about the answer. He's like, yeah, that's exactly what it is. I never thought about how to, So he didn't really think and really plan out what he wanted to do. He had it in his head, but he didn't really. And so he wasn't coming off like he meant to. So I just want to urge people who may want to reach out to us. You may want to reach out. You may want to come. You may be in town. You want to come roll with us, whatever you call your terminology that you use. Just make your intentions as clear as possible. If you got an issue, if you feel like, hey, I seen y'all out there doing that lock and that wrist lock ain't look right the way I don't think that wrist lock was right. I don't think the covers is effective. I want to come say that. If you want to come train, hey man, I seen y'all. I would love to come train. Say that. If you saw because I end up asking brother, hey, what do you know about African martial arts? What have you seen us do? I really haven't seen y'all do anything. I just saw the post. So how do you know you're coming to share something that we don't know? See what I'm saying? So you just got to be careful, man, how you come off. I'm in there with women and children. I'm the only full instructor on the set at the time. And I got women and I got children that I'm protecting. I'm responsible for it. I'm not letting nobody I don't know just come up and jump into class. I'm not letting you get too close to them. You see what I'm saying? So you got to watch how you move, being a stranger to people and in this martial arts world, because we're not the typical kickboxing school. That's not what we're doing. So, we take this thing really serious. I was explaining the beautiful death to him. That's what was so funny. But everything was cool and everything is cool, but it might have not been. Right. You see what I'm saying? And I just wanted everything to be. So let's make sure we do it. Say what we're doing.
When whatever you do, make sure your analysis is clear. But the longer you do a thing, the longer you commit to the study of a thing, the clearer your analysis becomes if you're serious about your study. So him not being able to articulate what either his plans were derailed, and this is what you're seeing, the nervous, I don't know what to say, or his level of training is very young, and so he cannot articulate what it is. He's still in the stage that I got to put my hands on you, but goddamn it, I'm speaking before a bunch of folks. I can't put my hands on all of them, and some people don't want you to put your hands on. And if I'm somewhere else, I've been to places. I'm open. I've had people come up, and they have in their mind, I'm gonna show them this is how you punch, and punch at me full power, and then they become the joke of the thing. So now, okay, so I look at it as, some people just know. Now, when I was younger, my brother,
you know, they would do that, and I put them on their ass or something, right? Now, they came up, you came up here with this idea, but your training is young. So you don't know where I'm going to come from, but I know exactly where you're coming from.
Right.
So they do what they do. You know, I turn around, this one brother, big brother, he punched and everything. I end up turning him around and pulling him by his nose so he's laying back on me. I said, see, he laying on me all come down. He don't even know me, laying on me like this. Everybody laughing and jiving. I said, it's tapping when it hurts, brother. You tap. I said, I don't think you hear me. Am I speaking loud enough? You tap and people laughing at him. I'm like, thank you. You just made this panel even better.
Right.
And so he finally tapped. I said, there you go, brother. I turned him back around, hugged him. Thank you, brother. He went and sat down. I know he's wrestling with himself. Maybe even right now.
He came wanted it one way.
He wanted one way. It was the other way, right? So always be clear in your analysis, and also be clear that the people that's talking before you, everybody in this age, we think people just talking, and that qualifies you as whatever it is you are.
Right.
But there are people who do, y'all. Don't ever forget that. And whatever you do, there are people who do the shit that you talking about. So if all you did was read 50 books, but you have not put application into what it is, what you're talking about, then you need to be quiet and learn from those who do, or recognize that the student blacksmith, the master blacksmith in one town is the student blacksmith in another. Had this brother, I was called in to teach on survival. I didn't know this was going to be a bunch of white folks, because the dude who contacted my person was black. But he's the leader of this group of white. It was strange to me. When I see a brother and it's a bunch of white men and weak, mealy mouth white males, I think it's kind of some kind of sex shit. That's what I always think. You know, it's some kind of weird. And I probably was wrong, but I'd be like, he probably tearing them all off. Making the men watch, you know, as he tells they wives and some crazy shit. That's what I see. But when I go there, I'm looking like, this is interesting here. This is interesting. He the only black person in this motherfucker. But okay, since I'm here and they didn't pay me, I'm gonna teach. So as I'm teaching, he's the man to all of them. I can tell when he's speaking and they're enamored. I'm like, it's kind of cold. What the fuck is this crazy shit? But when I say, okay, I'm gonna, you volunteer with me, but he said, sure. I said, I'm gonna catch him in the wrist lock. I said, I'm gonna put this wrist lock on you, but I want you to punch my hand like it's my face. I'm gonna put it right here. You punch it as hard as you can. So he said, help.
I did that too, Bob.
He says, help. He said, he's going to do this wrist lock. He doesn't realize that I've been wrist locked many times. And it's not going to hurt me. I'm going to hit his hand. I'm just, you all know that. Yeah, we know. Yeah. Because he's been doing the wrist lock for them.
Right.
He is the master blacksmith in that town. But I didn't came into your town. Now you're a student blacksmith. So when I put that wrist lock on him, I said, go ahead, punch as hard as you can. I put it on, and then you can put it on him hard. Can you lift your wrist? Now, he's a athletic, muscular, big old man, This is a small woman. She is a martial artist, though. And here, punch my hand, punch it. Hit that motherfucker. Hit it. Yeah, hit it. That's it. Hit it. Hit it. She said, ow. She tried. And that hit is weaker, too. That's cool. So when I did it to him, now you see, she's still punching. So when I did it about the same amount because I didn't want to hurt him, right? His hands went back like this. I'm like, hit my hand, brother. I said, back, down my hand, hit my face because I know he's done now. and I did it again. I said, that's how you put on a wrist lock. I said, that is a wrist press, and that's the proper way you do that. What's been done with you is like this. He understood. That's the difference. I said, the wrist can be locked in 7 different ways. I just locked you in 3 at the same time. You don't know that, but your brain registers, oh shit, I'm hurt like I ain't never been hurt before. So the master blacksmith in one town, the student blacksmith in another, don't get too big for your britches. So you talk about you coming to share knowledge, make sure you got some.
Make sure you're instructed. Put hands on somebody in real life before. I gotta say that.
Well, a lot of folks don't know.
I was
right?
saying, make sure, man.
But when you know, be honest with yourself. We had a brother come in. I just got my 3rd degree black belt. Oh, good, bro. You know, he said, one of my students said, "What you got to do to get that?" He said, "You know, we have to create on the fly self-defense techniques against knife attacks." I said, "You creating on the fly self-defense techniques against a knife? Damn, y'all awesome." If this shit ain't been worked, you create on the fly, you don't know if that shit works or not. You just bullshit. But you've been in class for 10 years, you done read a bunch of books, and you think you know. You know from experience. You know from putting this shit on the fucking mat. And when you on the mat is the truth. You get on the mat, you work. And really, the mat in class is the half truth. The mat, the concrete, that's the mat. Out there, that's the real truth. The battlefield, that's the real truth. Most of us don't get to that truth.
And dealing with techniques that's never been put through that.
Right. It ain't been put through You know, some people in class say, you know, I want to do this. I think this will work. We've been working, training. I think this will work. And I respect that you've been training. Okay, stuff comes out. Let's test that shit. Let's test it. We're going to fire test that shit. And if any part of that don't work, we can keep this, but not this. And if 2-3 parts don't work, that shit don't work. That shit is ineffective. We're not using that. Okay. But I see some. I say, oh, I've seen that before, so and so. So we can tweak it to this for your body. It may not be for me, but it may be for him. It may be for her.
Your bone.
That's how we work. So most people ain't working like that. So know what you're coming to. Because if you want to share knowledge, like I said, you know, it could go either way with me. The person that could have been a veiled threat or sincere. I'm ready to share knowledge with you.
I'm glad you went there.
I'm ready to share knowledge with you, wherever you want to go with it, right? And I'm glad I wasn't there, because when he said, "Can I show you?" You know, I said, "Sure."
I know you.
And I done stepped up with him. Sure, show me what it is you got to show. But I've been in this shit a long time, y'all, and I've been in war. I know when somebody is fighting me. You're not gonna bail it. Just so you know.
No, you don't have to address it. You're gonna block this dude if you.
What do you say, Dennis?
He talking about Bitcoin. So.
Okay, well, yeah.
We have administrators that are in the chat. I'm just saying.
Yeah. And I'm an administrator too. I can put him in timeout, or I can ban him and delete his comments. Guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna ban him and delete his comments. Thank you.
You just said something to us.
Dang, dude. Sorry.
What is that? I love the show.
I don't know, but whatever it is, man, you gotta stay. You don't come on and disrupt chat and start talking about breaking news, Bitcoin. Nobody give a fuck about. We're not talking about that. It's not breaking news right now.
Let me say this too. You don't like my music. The best tactic is to be smarter than your enemy. Make them reveal themselves. You cannot know if you're smarter than your enemy. Be well trained to the best of your ability.
Let me say this though, about you reveal yourself with your information that you give to. You reveal what level you on by the information you give out. If you not, I'm gonna shut that one.
Well, I'll say this: you reveal the level you on by the questions you ask.
Yes.
You reveal the level you're on by the comments you make. And you reveal the level you're on when you should be asking the question, but you make a comment.
Right.
Because you have an inflated idea of what your knowledge is.
I didn't want to say it.
So for me, I go to somebody's panel or wherever I'm at, and they're doing whatever. I'm not making no goddamn absolute statements in their shit.
Right.
Because I'm here. So I'm here to learn.
You don't know their politics. You don't want to disrespect what they say.
My wife would tell you I listen to Black Power Media all day long.
The best tactics.
And for me, never have I gotten in and said, this is what it is in a comment.
Right.
The one time they were talking about punching somebody, they meant the liver, but they were saying the kidney. That's the one time, and I didn't comment on the show. I was watching the whole thing. I commented in the comments later.
You feel me, James?
Because I'm not going to disrupt what they're talking about unless it's completely false. And I don't expect that to be on Black Power Media unless it's a guest talking, right? And so I made the statement in the comment.
It's not the best tactic because you can't know that. There's no way of knowing if you're smarter than your enemy. There's no way of knowing that.
I don't suggest I was smarter than my enemy. I said it's the best tactic.
We didn't say you suggested you
right, but how can that even be a tactic?
Right.
Because you have no idea what the level of intelligence of your enemy, unless you're talking about the broader enemy. And when you talk about the broader enemy, I'm talking about the state, right? The state itself doesn't come to you.
Right.
Who does the state send? You don't know their level of intelligence, but you do know your level.
What sort of intelligence are you talking about also?
Adam Manifesto asked a technique question earlier, and I did want to ask, how do we defend against wrist locks?
Okay, let's get to it. That's
about
good. Because that is Aikijutsu bread and butter. Wrist locks.
Let's do it.
Okay. So,
can we pull up the Warrior Class B camera?
What am I supposed to be doing?
Pulling up the Warrior Class.
I don't understand.
Did you do it?
This was last week, and I'm just.
You talk about I don't understand.
Yeah, shit. So Master Black.
That's me.
It's the student blacksmith and another. Right? I ain't even a student blacksmith in technology. Right? So shit.
You just a blacksmith.
I'm just blacksmith. I ain't even a student of it. I just dude who picked up a hammer and started pounding on the hammer. So now it ain't even nothing there between I can pound. I'm just pounding on the hammer because I don't know shit. All right. So wrist locks number one, just so you know, are rarely seen out in reality except when the police put you in a wrist lock. Let's just be realistic about that.
Yeah, well.
I ain't never been put in a wrist lock in my life, but I train on them so I know what they feel like. I train on them, know how to defend against them, and I know what they're for.
I think more often.
So keep that term there. So when you have a wrist lock, she grabs me. First, you have to grab. Over my hand, this is for tool retention. That's why we train against any wrist grabs, period. She grabbed my wrist. I don't want her to end up taking my tool, so I know how to get out of that and then work, right? Well, that's the beginning of a wrist lock. A wrist lock, to affect it, you have to first grab the wrist. You got me? I can't do this to get a wrist lock. Now, how am I going to get to the wrist lock? To get the wrist lock, I still got to grab the wrist. That's number one. Well, she's here, and she's throwing hands. It's not easy to just grab the wrist unless you really train. Under stress and duress, the person really punching, it's hard to do that. Okay. Oh, Lord, what have you done to the other camera there?
No, you still on.
All right.
Watch Kalanji's right there.
I just
You get some circle.
I just cut out the other camera off so they wouldn't be looking at two things at one time.
All right. So now, I hope people's eyes can, their mind can adjust with if that's over there and they are right. They see it. But okay, I got you. So, whoa.
I'm working on it. Let me be the what they call the engineer. I'm engineering over here. I did that.
Oh, don't take it. Oh, shit, you press the X. What? You
No, we
got
good.
X out.
No, we good.
What happened?
That was just some
Yeah, we good.
stuff that was
Oh shit! I told you I don't know this stuff. You scared the hell out of me. So anyway, so to do a wrist lock first,
Need me?
yeah, come over. Cause her wrist so little and cute. You see how little her wrist lock? I don't want to snap her wrist and just grab her arm. No, I'm just messing with you. So he's in there. He throws. Throw a punch. No. Throw a punch. No. Throw a punch. Yeah, there we go. Now we talking. So now the punch comes. Now, don't do that at home to impress your friends or something. You fuck up your timing.
Right.
You're gonna get busted right in the nose. And don't blame me. But anyway, he punches at my nose. Give it to me. Oh, right. Give it to me. Right. I've been doing this a while. Practice this first. This is beginning to get your wrist locks off for real. You want to get a wrist lock. Wrist locks for us, it just comes in the midst of something.
Really nice with that job.
But he comes, right? To do, let's say, the outward wrist lock, like you see like this. Aikijutsu would just go out there
And
he's thrown. And then the person, I believe it's called the uki. That's the person who takes the throw. They got that beautiful hakama skirt on. They go in a circle, and that is the prettiest shit. That hakama going in that circle.
Do they roll too?
Yeah, they roll. But Japanese rolls are dangerous.
I know. That's why I'm asking.
Because most people who in a Japanese art who you see doing that, and just study for yourself, they end up on canes and shit when they my age.
That dude that came out class said his juicy food was on the cane.
Yeah, and that's a whole nother show. When we deal with the ground, I can show you exactly why they end up on canes. Okay. If we end up on the cane, it ain't from the rolls. Trust me on that. Something else can happen. But anyway, they lock the wrist out this way. It's called an outside wrist lock, and they fall in a pretty circle. And that's cool. It looks good. It looks good. That's black folk attracted to that because we want to look good.
We do.
In combat. But the proper way to do that, once I have him, is to push his palm towards his forearm first. I manifesto. This is with this wrist lock. There are many. And I'm going to show you 2, 3. So I press his palm towards his forearm. His feet are planted now where he's not going to do it. I can do other stuff from there, pull my tool, whatever. So first I want to put him in a position where he can't attack me. Now I turn, as I keep pressing that towards his forearm, I turn his fingers towards the earth, not turn him in a circle. I turn his fingers towards the earth.
You see off balance first.
He goes down, and then I can work from there. That's how that wrist lock is done. Okay, it is pressing palm towards the forearm, then turning the fingers towards the ground, not turning it out towards the wall, towards the ground. There's constant pressure downwards on his wrist. That's how that one's done.
No, he want to know how to not. You want to know defense against wrist locks?
No, he wants to know how a wrist lock's done. Isn't that what he said?
No, he said defense.
Oh, defense against wrist lock?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, he still didn't know how to do it for you. Know how to get it.
Yes. So number one, I get him like this. He's not getting out of that. Number one, do not get in a position. So you can get put in positions where you can't get out. So your defense against a wrist lock is to not get there. The beauty is the wrist is small and the hands are quick. So it's hard for a person to grab because they first got to, like I said, grab your wrist.
Right.
So if I'm here, tighten up your body.
Don't let me punch you. I hit him. I just hit him. I'll do it again in case you. Don't let me punch you. I'm gonna punch you, and I'm gonna punch you right here on that E, so you know where it is. E for your name. Now he stopped me from the E, but I still hit his body. Okay. So it's hard to stop the wrist. It's moving quick.
Yeah, it is. And I know where to look and everything. You know I know how to.
So you grabbing it now. Grab my wrist. I'm gonna give you a key on how to do this too. Grab my wrist. Throw my hand out there. Grab my damn wrist. He probably put himself in the lock action. You don't follow the way you do that. The way you grab the wrist. You don't aim for the wrist.
Nah.
You aim for the elbow. Your hand should be reaching out for my elbow. So when I punch, now if I punch like a boxer, you go for the elbow, and I come back, you got my wrist.
Yeah, since he don't punch like that, it ain't gonna.
That's the secret. So since I keep it out, I'm here. He still has my. That's following it. Don't follow my wrist. The reason why you don't follow, because I want to go across. He went across his navel.
Yep.
As soon as you go across your navel, you are in trouble. Do never go across your navel like this. It's always here. Here. I'm in line with my navel, or it's outside my neck, but never.
I don't give him too much, but I don't give him too much.
Yeah, that's just something. So follow my elbow, and he's somewhere in here. Now he has control to slow my arm. Now he can grab my wrist.
I don't take it.
So, or grab with your other hand. You got here, and he grabbed it. So now I know there's trouble there. So now I have to grab. Anytime you grab his wrist, this I have to give him. Anytime you grab somebody or they grab you, you're also touching them.
Call and response.
You're touching them. They touching you. You're touching them. So shit, I can't let him now turn this into some wrist lock. Well, because now I can't get out once the lock is on. I'm in trouble. Okay. I changed my feet. The solution, I said last week, is always in your feet. So he's got me here. Well, this is telling me where to go. I step towards my fingers. He's got my wrist. I step towards my fingers. And now I got his wrist. He's got my wrist. Two hands, so it looks, so they know. So I can't. People do this, snatching. If he's stronger than me, he's got me. And if he's stronger and knows how to move, as I'm trying to pull out, he's sliding down with his hand, and I'm set up now, right? Right, exactly. So from here, you got to move your feet. When you say you got to move your feet, he grabs you. You trying to do this also, some kind of technique. It's in your feet. It's not in your arms. Grab tight and control my arm. Push it into my body. See how? Oh man, he got me jacked up. I can't grab my tool.
See that tricep muscle?
I can't grab my tool. You got to press against my hip well. So you try. I can move in several ways. So press.
There.
That's one. So it's no longer on my hip.
Just move away.
I move or I move again this way.
That's
nice. So
nice.
now he's in a bad position.
I don't like this.
Both arms.
I look like a fool.
Okay, and now I can wrist lock him.
I'm eating.
So the solution's always in your feet. I
feet?
manifesto and everybody else. Your feet happy. Feet don't fail me now. They better not. They better not. You're in a wheelchair. The wheelchair becomes your feet. You move that, okay? So there's always ways out. This position what I was talking about, underneath here.
Okay.
That wrist press.
Yeah,
you have to recognize the danger because once you got that, it's bad. But I'm pressed here. I can't get out. He's gonna press my palm towards my forearm. So your feet are the solution. Your feet are the solution and can be solution in many ways. Now, normally when they do this lock, the person gets behind you, step behind you, and they do the lock.
So, yep.
That's how that's done. Now, so key is, one, he doesn't get behind me, I have to step. So if he steps behind me, I don't care what his title is, what he got on, I can't allow this shit to happen. If he is the Chinese police, he can put cuffs on me from here too.
Right.
So I just move my feet. When I move, I'm just gonna step behind him, put that down on the nigga, lower it a little bit so they can
And
see.
I don't have to have both hands on this lock, just so y'all know.
Right. He can be reaching for his cuffs with the other hand.
Right.
So, and I'm like, ow, ow, ow. You'll never hear that from me on the lock. But when I step, I don't do this. There's a disengagement, and I step behind him.
And stay tight.
I stay tight to him. He should feel me the whole time. You see when he's off balance? Well, once I go off balance, he's still holding my wrist. Now I also have to just lower my elbow or raise my elbow.
And I ate like that too.
Right. So it's here. I would raise it in this situation, and he gets thrown if I want to.
Yeah.
In many ways.
Oh, baby.
You know, I lift his leg and throw.
I'm flipping on that.
More than likely to do it the way I was traditionally just trained by my dad. Off balance. Boom! Slam like that. But you don't have to do that. So I can't do that. You know, like a lot of folks like to say what they can't do, and you ain't even tried it. But
You see this
off balance.
You see this little off balancing move on a lot on the internet right now.
And now I can grab his arm or whatever. I don't even have to throw him. I can press on his arm.
That was a tap back there.
And so that is behind his elbow on the tricep tendon. Then I can pull that. Now he's in a wrist lock. The same wrist lock. I said, well, what was you trying to do? You trying to do like this?
I apologize for my.
And now, but when I do it, he steps. See my feet behind him. He steps his feet behind me.
Same thing.
Solutions in the feet. You better not end up in that position. He's stepping behind me. He's stepping behind me. Go ahead. You let that go. You change your feet.
Do something else.
And now we're right back there. Now, what were you trying to do? I don't understand. You know, you don't want to get Keystone Cops with him. I'm just showing you how you can control the wrist. So that is that wrist press. Another one, this is big with Aikijutsu. They do it like this. Chop down, which ain't going to happen out there. Chop down with your hand. Right, they do that.
Can you do that again, Bob, with her movement so she can see what actually happened? That's a roof block. Come like this. That's what he did.
Then they come up. That is not going to happen on the street like that. So what does happen, though, once again, the punch. I go for his elbow. I get to his wrist, okay? And now, when I go under, what's all this space shit? I stay close. If that happens, I don't care about the hat getting crushed, but I do now. So it's it. You see, he's tapping already. So it'll be snapped by the time I get behind him. That's the reality. So if you just doing like this, that's some bullshit. You playing.
Yeah.
He should be tapping by the time we're right there.
And then he just
boom. Then I go through and just seal the deal on his grip. But training, I loosen it a little bit. I got to make him tap before I go under. Now I loosen. See, he's already there. And that's loose, y'all. He's dancing because that shit hurt. Now, that is, for us, we call that an A-lock. I don't know what they call it in Aikijutsu. Ikyo, Sankyo, they got all kinds of, you know. So, that is a painful lock.
Yes, it is.
If it's done right, just stand behind him. So, now to get out of this lock, you punch, I'm here. If you don't know it doesn't exist. Once I'm here, no, don't turn your foot that way. Sidestep towards me and drive your elbow down with your weight. So,
that's so much
sidestep towards me. Oh, right. I can
like that.
Right, and I can't get under there, and that hurt me right there. Hit me. So I'm gonna pay him back for that one. So that hit me right there. Hit the shit out of my pressure point right there.
All right, so
I got sharp elbows, y'all.
so that there, that's how you do that.
That's beautiful. Thank you for that.
Yeah, just step right towards them, drive your elbow down. Because this one here too,
Yeah.
the cuffs go on. I've seen that one before, and then it put your arm behind your back, right? Now you're a kuka, and that's really bad. That dislocates your shoulder in 2 to 4 places, as a matter of fact. So, yeah, you step towards them. But just know, you do that against somebody that's going like this, security guard or something, Chinese police. You in it now.
You in it.
You're going to be in it anyway. Once
You was
this goes.
going to really be in it when they got them
So
on.
when he gets ready to put, you step towards him. And you can say, oh, I'm sorry, sir. I didn't mean to.
my fault.
I didn't. And he's like, God damn it, you fool. What did you do that for? Right, exactly. And once again, your feet come in handy. The solution's in your feet.
Hey, that's what I've been working on lately, y'all. Getting that bicycle, squats, lunges, getting
Squats, lunges, jumping,
up and down,
you
burpees
know,
and stuff like that.
running up and down stairs.
You see the senior citizens what they invest in when they go to the gym. They know this is what's gonna last. You need these.
Right, this keeps you here.
Yeah. Use this all.
Strong leg and flexibility.
Mobility.
That's what keeps you here.
Yes. Yes.
And that's actually a sign of youth. They have stronger or more endurable legs, right? They may not be big muscles, but they can endure. They can go for a long time with doing things.
Yes.
It's the leg. We do things and lactic acid buildup is burning as you get older.
Yes, it does.
And our flexibility goes down. And so those are signs that we're getting older.
Bro is still giving out all type of information.
Advice, yeah.
Get behind them, lock the chokehold, and hold for dear life. Using a wrist lock on a stronger opponent is futile. Against bigger dudes, stay low and try to get them. Who the fuck are you, my nigga? Excuse me,
Let me say this. You know, we appreciate you sharing, those things. Now, like I said, a wrist lock. I start off saying a wrist lock is difficult. You ain't seeing us wrist lock out here, but you best learn them. You best learn them because they will be put on you. Now, to say a wrist lock is futile, that's bullshit. You can't. Because the police have put many of us in a goddamn wrist lock.
Yo, we asking.
And many of us have died under the hands of police who put us in the wrist lock first. Where they put us in the shoulder lock, right? And then they put the goddamn handcuffs on us, and then we'll put the other one behind your back. And people say, oh, they weak. See, what you do is this. Once this has you here, this hurts so bad that people will put their hands behind their back.
Right, that's the first
thing.
You
can't judge them because this shit is pain. Right? I hear people saying, if I lived during slavery, I wouldn't have get whooped. I wouldn't have got whipped by master. You got your ass whooped. Stop that bullshit. You're in a fantasy goddamn land, man. And you have to deal with reality. Who?
He's talking about UFC.
What about the UFC?
That's where.
Oh, well, number one, okay, and I love that. No, I love that. So people now, and once again, I said a person based on what they say will tell you their age and whatever it is, right? People now take UFC as the marker for martial skill. When the UFC first came out, it was really a joke. But marketing has made it not a joke. It was a joke. You watch that shit like, man, this shit is just foolishness. It was, and that's why Dana White's doing the slap thing now. People now joking. 10 years from now, they won't be joking. Motherfuckers gonna be taking that shit seriously. Because marketing determines whether we take stuff seriously. So most people's martial skill is based on what they see on TV or fucking the internet.
Let me say something else too. This person, you're showing a lot about who. I can pretty much assume that you're a European. That's in a privileged state. Let me just say that. I just gotta say this, man. I don't even usually talk. Y'all never hear me talk like that. But the way you see how we addressed you and we said, hey man, he just told you he wouldn't go on somebody else's site and give absolute information. You do this, you do that because it's disrespectful. After we say that, you continue to do exactly that.
Let me say this. Let me say this, warriors.
let's stop doing this. Let's stop doing this, saying, and you can assume they're a Caucasian.
You're right.
Don't do that, because we got fools across the spectrum.
No doubt.
And we have to know to look out for that shit. A Caucasian wouldn't do this. 20 years ago, we said a black man would never be a serial killer.
Black man, we don't commit suicide, all that stuff.
Right. A black man would never be a serial killer. One of the most prolific serial killers, he was in Philly, was a brother. And police were thinking the same way too, so they were not looking for a black man. It was a black man. I love us, but me as a warrior, it's required that when I see an opponent, I see gray. I don't see what their color is, because I can't make that mistake and a motherfucker get close to me and stick me in my liver. So I don't know what that motherfucker is. And I don't care. All I care about is what I'm teaching. I was going to say I'm thankful if you're sharing something and people get something out of it. But don't disregard. See, a person comes in, I want to say this, so they disregard what the fuck I said.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So they disregard my experience. They disregard that. But I don't know what they are. You got me? They could be Asian, they could be white, they could be black. It doesn't matter. When we say stick it to the man can be anybody. When I teach children, what does a rapist look like? They can look like anybody. What does a murderer look like? They can look like anybody. What does a child molester look like? They can look like anybody. What does a disrespectful motherfucker look like? They can look like anybody. So whoever it is, I don't care. Either they get kicked out or I keep teaching. But they're not going to change anything, because by the things they're saying is ridiculous. What I was going to say was, when we watch TV, we have to watch doing that, of thinking somebody is so skilled because we saw it on TV. Don't mistake the fact that UFC is entertainment, y'all. It tells you at the end it's entertainment.
Same contracts as WWE.
So shit, WWE said, boxing says it. You think that shit can't be fixed, so they want so-and-so to win or look so dominant? Come on. We trust goddamn Zuffa Incorporated, who puts out UFC so much that we think they won't goddamn fix shit. So how do you take that as your standard of martial arts? How you take anything on a video? People will say, I do so-and-so. Post it on a video. If it's not on video, it doesn't exist. That's bullshit.
Let me just say this.
Let me finish.
Okay.
That's bullshit. If it's not on a video, it doesn't exist. If you don't know a thing, it doesn't exist. So you saying it's not on video, it doesn't exist, tells me you don't know shit. You don't know what you're talking about. And you need to be on video so you can say, see, and you still ain't learned a goddamn thing. Because I can get in the ring with the dude across the street, and because I'm not in the ring, but he been training in the ring for 6 months, he may whoop my ass in the goddamn ring. But we get out there, and it's a losing notion. Because now in the ring, you by the rules of that ring. The ring says when you come in, you got to hold the chicken in your hand and fight. I don't have a chicken. Oh, you're disqualified. Oh, shit. Based on their rules. When I used to go to tournaments in Chicago, man, I take my students. I said, we're going to get disqualified. But you'll know your technique works in relation to this martial art. Now I don't care to do that. I'm too old to be even caring what these other martial arts do, to be honest with you, right? I care about y'all, so I'll show you this art does this. They can make it better. So if you're doing that art, you can be better. But we would go compete against these dudes and get disqualified. Because every time we're breaking them down, they throwing up. They getting knocked out. You're disqualified. See, we didn't leave with a trophy. Oh, well. But our trophy is, I know I tore that motherfucker's ass up. That's how I know. I've been training for a year. And I fought this black belt. In fact, come in here, Balagoon D. Balagoon D had been training on the ground. Now, he's been training with me for a couple of years. But on the ground for like, what, 6 months?
Yeah, it was like
3 months. And I took him to a tournament,
and he broke this fucking black belt who they thought was gonna win the whole thing. He broke his motherfucking ribs with his body. That motherfucker laying there crying and shit. He beat him. The black belt they thought was gonna win. Am I lying?
No, these are facts.
So let's stop this old TV bullshit. He on TV, he does so-and-so, so he knows so much. No, you don't know shit. He knows a little bit more than you, and so you got faith because you saw him on TV, but when he is against a man, god damn it, he breaks down. Or a woman, well-trained. When I say man, and I hop like that, I'm talking about a trained motherfucking man. Because I ain't hopping like that for a motherfucker that hasn't put in that work. When you come up against a man, all that you wonder, how he beat him? Because that motherfucker wasn't that great in the first place. But you're basing it off of watching a cartoon. You're watching TV, you're watching cartoon with your cereal on Saturday. But now it's become UFC on a Thursday night or some shit. Telling y'all, man, that's a dangerous way to live. And then you go on places and you talk like you know shit. You talk with so much goddamn conviction. Like you just know something. You don't know shit. And we know it from the beginning. You goddamn type on that motherfucking keyboard. Most people ain't gonna say that to you. I say because I goddamn it. We got too little time on this earth. We got an enemy with their foot on our neck to be playing with your goddamn theories. And I'm trying to teach somebody, they ask a question that they obviously concerned with, and I'm trying to teach everybody to protect themselves against what has been for us, not what's coming. These motherfuckers been killing us for 500 years. So fuck your opinion and what you talking about. You ain't put in no work to really know shit. Fuck you. I'm trying to teach people to protect themselves. It's that plain. It's that simple.
We appreciate you about that. Thank you. I just want to real quick, as far as the race thing, just want to point out when I say, tell you why you took, if it'd be the same thing if the dude was on here saying, if you want to look real nice with it, do this right here. Everybody, that's an ignorant brother right there. I can pretty much tell. It might be a white man, but I just meant it that way. I didn't mean because he has to be, white people act like that. I just meant talking about the worst of the worst. So not the worst of the worst, but just bad quality. But we asking you, the whole point is that while he's sharing, he is an expert. While he's sharing his knowledge, if you ain't an expert, shut up, chill out, and pay attention and stop trying to show that you know something by posting your opinions that aren't opinions, and they aren't even correct.
That's right, Ingonyama. The advice you're giving is not coming across with just the sense of advice. If you're contributing, you got to say, I saw this too, or I went through. Right. If you got the experience to back that, because our reason is you just talking over. Right.
You talk about how to deal with large opponents, stuff like that, and you clearly don't know enough about martial arts to give out good advice, because you didn't say anything about tools. You talking a bunch of stuff that.
Let me say, I don't even know who said anything. I didn't care. Right. It's I don't know who said what. I didn't even look at the thing. I could barely see. I need some new glasses.
But I bet this person gonna still continue posting their advice.
Well, it's cool. It's cool. But I don't know what they said. And let me say this to you all moving forward. If somebody say, I would kick Baba in his fucking mouth if he say another word. Don't bother me with that shit.
I'm not, because I know you. I would never tell you that.
Because that will derail all that we're trying to do, because I will answer that one.
I know you will.
So don't tell me what's going on in here.
I appreciate you.
Unless I see it, or if it's a question that makes sense. I don't give a fuck about somebody talking about, I do a backward somersault and knee my opponent in the face. Tell me that shit later so we can laugh. Don't tell me that shit now, because you tell it to me now, that's too dangerous. Well, maybe some shit you got to tell me, because we got to find a balance with it, because we don't want people walking away who watching this to be thinking that's the shit too.
I think That's the
You
balance.
pose
You
it
just
as a question.
that was the balance. We good.
How about, can
We
you do
good.
this?
That was the balance. That was the
And,
balance.
and if we laugh at your question too, people, there's no such thing as a stupid question except the one unasked. No, it's stupid questions. So we ain't gonna bullshit. If you say, because I was asked in class one time, how would you? I think Belay asked me, how would you take this? They got a knife to your throat and you're on the ground. What would you do? And so we did something ridiculous. I showed some ridiculous.
Oh, I remember that.
It was ridiculous. The question was ridiculous. So my answer to that shit was ridiculousness. But normally I will laugh at that kind of shit. But when I see it in here and the people need to know how to defend themselves, and I manifestly asked a question that obviously was important to them.
Right.
I don't like no motherfucker coming behind that saying this. Come on, keep that old bullshit somewhere else, man.
Yes, manifesto. I manifest just like that. Dudes want to always act like they got the fight moves. They know what to do.
And especially when the sister there, if she wasn't here, maybe they would. Mud are crazy. We posted a video one time of this sister getting out of person between the legs, getting out, and the technique is a tested technique, works, and it's simple, right? If I was teaching, but you're not. So number one, you start off, if I was teaching, you're not.
You don't teach.
If ifs and buts and candies and nuts, every day will be Christmas. So when you start off, if I was teaching, you're not. So let's start from that, please. So go wind that shit back and ask what you want to ask, or don't say shit. So if I was teaching, I would have done something. So I put a picture of this thirsty mug in the desert, his tongue all long, he's thirsty as hell. You thirsty for this sister who don't want shit you got to offer.
Thirsty ego.
And you showing techniques and shit. You talking about technique like she gonna say, you know what, you like the little children when we were little boys, a girl walked by and she cute and you do a backflip. Let you know she didn't give a fuck about that backflip back then. She don't give a fuck about you backflipping right now. I'm gonna impress her by saying this. You are in the stream, fool. She don't give a fuck what you talking about right now. Just so we be clear with that, stop being thirsty. Get you a woman or get you a Pornhub. You ain't got to pay for Pornhub. Pay for Pornhub and look at that shit and whack off, nigga. Because we ain't got time for your childish ass games. Grow up. I write games. Goddamn, I ain't got time for no children ass shit. The same person
admits that they know nothing about martial arts.
I remember them days. Of course, but the Pornhub days,
the same dude,
or the days when you was backflipping for the sister.
The same dude that gave out all the advice came back and said they admit they know nothing about martial arts. I admit that. I'm sorry.
Well, then let it be. Let it be. That's for us right there, and that's you all's answer too.
They know nothing about martial arts that gave all that advice. That is an agent provocateur.
So
that's what
that's why I say poke thing.
Yeah, that's an agent provocateur.
You could have been learning about martial arts while you was tapping your fingers.
Anyway,
Okay.
We still got good time. So that was against that wrist lock. Okay. Against a punch. Aikijutsu. It still goes back to the wrist lock. The person punches, Aikijutsu would they don't do the big circles, Aikido. They would do a smaller circle and they catch you and they pull down or whatever it may be.
The fact that they don't off balance first and give you a chance.
Well, he punches. They do it, and the person is falling off balance for some reason. And then they catch it, they do this. Right? So maybe it's something I'm missing with the chi or something.
The chi is the chi.
Now, a person is punching at you. When we talking about, I'm smarter than, I'm faster than, you don't know. You have to know your skill. So when he punches at my nose, he punches. All I'm doing is I step off to the side, to the outside of his arm. Whether I got my left foot or right foot, my left foot is on the same side, it's going to step. He punches, and I throw my shoulder towards him. That gets me out of the way. So he punches, I'm here. This hand comes up to protect me and to grab.
So now that I have him grabbed, I can now affect locks. We don't seek to affect locks if we're in this position. I want you to pay attention to what my arm's doing. He punches. My arm is down. Bring that down for me, nigga. It's down at my pocket. Because what would I be doing if I had my tool in there? It comes out and pull, and I stab him. This is my tool. Of course, stab him. It's got a crenulated bevel on it. I think you can see that. I don't know how they're supposed to be doing that shit. But it's got a crenulated bevel.
Well, so you stab me with that flashlight, you're a bad motherfucker.
And that there can rend flesh. Now they gonna stab him. Now they go through and he turn like, ah! Then y'all can say, wow, I really know what he's doing. Okay. I wish I could jam it like that, but now I tell you, in prison, my cousin stabbed a dude through the face with an unsharpened spoon. But he was so goddamn inhumanly strong.
I believe it. Prison strength.
And
Go.
well, when he went to prison, his wife started sleeping with his right-hand man. And so, to be honest, to let you know,
he just did push-ups
he strengthened because he said he was going to break her back and his neck with his bare hands. So he was training his strength up to get revenge on that shit. By the time he got out, that wasn't him. Thank God.
12 years.
But he went through a dude's face with a spoon, unsharpened spoon. So he may have been able to stab him up with his flashlight.
Yeah, I hope he don't stab.
I don't have that kind of musculature. But anyway.
Why do I feel like you wish you could have saw him?
Hey, that's been goddamn right. Yeah, I would love to see that. You know. So anyway, and if he got stabbed with a spoon, I still would like to see it.
God.
I mean, damn, you got to admire technique. So if I got stabbed with a spoon, I'd be like, damn, how'd you do that? I'm fucked. But hey, all right, so he punches. Boom, I'm here. It's here, y'all. So it's right there. And then I move. So when I move, I'm not trying to get a wrist lock. I may push his arm out the way, and then I hit him with this, or I hit him with this, right?
That answers another one of your questions, I manifesto.
Well, I'll rake across his face with the crenulated bevel.
How not to get put in the wrist lock as soon as it pop off?
Yes. So he grabs my wrist. That's another one, yeah.
Let it go.
And I back him in his hand.
That's how you do it.
He's gonna let me go. That's another way you're gonna get put in the wrist lock. Okay.
The best way, maybe.
Now,
For you.
you are in. Come over real quick, Ball.
Oh yeah, the football clubs be very serious in the UK.
I'm like, oh shit. And he grabs my wrist here. And he starts patting me down. Patting down, see if I got anything. You cannot pat down all the way to my pocket. You can't let that happen. You cannot let that happen. Security guard grab you and you know you got some shit.
Right, what you gonna do?
You better be pulling. Now, normally I have a pistol right here in my appendix area. Security guard, for some odd reason, grabs me.
Hey, bro.
Like, my dad used to call security guard dough shakers. But they should make sure they lock, right? Goddamn dough shaker. You know, I got the job of security guard when you're a goddamn dough shaker, huh? Right? I'm like, damn, Dad, you're supposed to make me feel good about the job I did, you know. So anyway, it was at Kellogg. The Kellogg building, I learned Lil Debbie, Oscar Mayer, they all under one goddamn corporation. It was like on the wall, they got it painted. It was, I think, 500 goddamn corporations you think are something else. So anyway, he grabs and he get ready to pat down. Right? Security guard now. I ain't say other folk. Security guard, boom, he gets it. And now he gets it. Okay?
I like the way you lift your arm up.
Yeah, because I ain't trying to shoot myself in the arm. I done defeated myself now. Now, that would be me. I ain't saying you all do that.
Okay.
I said, if I'm grabbed by, these are two strangers.
Give us a less final.
Okay, so a less final result. He is about to, I don't know what he's going to grab me
I can't get grabbed on both sides. If I do, my chances of using my feet are less.
Yeah.
Because I'm going in two different directions. So I can't allow that. So I have to move. As he's reaching, I have to move. What's going on, y'all?
Barriers.
What's going on?
He just created a barrier.
Yeah, so this is a barrier.
We talked about this before.
And I act confused throughout the whole thing.
And he did what he showed y'all before. He moved on this, just like he did before, turning to the side.
To the outside of his arm. So he's getting ready to grab. Even if I just partially see his shoulder turn towards me, but I gotta move before he touches me. So he moved. Whoa! What's going on, sir? What's happening, sir?
I don't have that wrist lock.
I don't understand.
Right.
You come with me.
You need him?
You come with me.
Well,
Hey, use me.
I don't know what's happening.
If you pull a tool right now, I'm at risk if you pull like that.
So I'm keeping, what's going on, sir? You think about us, sir? Because I'm keeping the barrier between us. You got me? And if I have to, I can put the lock on him. I'll do that again. So, don't do what I would do. I'm an old man. So I can't be moving my feet like that.
Yeah, right.
Right. So I have to pull the tool. Now, if they both, let me make it clear. If they were both police, I would not be pulling my tool on police. But I would be getting the fuck out of there because I know if I got this, I'm going down.
Right.
Or they make that's the excuse to kill me.
Right.
I got a break. Okay. Your main defense against police is getting the fuck out of there. Don't be around when they show up because even if you're trying to explain yourself, they don't give a fuck about you. I always tell them, you're trying to appeal to them, they don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck you talking about. I got my baby crying in the back of the car. Yeah, you'll get to that in a minute, man, because they don't give a fuck your baby is crying in the car because they hot or they hungry. So get gone. Get gone. They pull you gotta pull your car, pull over into a safe space.
Yeah. You protect yourself. You don't have to pull up.
Right. And don't tell yourself, if they drive too long, they're gonna beat my ass. They could beat your ass and kill you anyway.
Right.
You go where it's safe, where people can see you or whatever. My baby's in the back of that car. My wife drives with our baby. She called me. The police pulled me over. Yay was in the car with her. Tell me where you're at. Right? Yay me. Put me on speaker. Yay me. Start filming right now. Don't let them see you filming. Hold that camera down or whatever and film what's going on. Tell me where you at so I can be on my way right now. I'm putting on my shit. She's on the phone. I am. I can't tell. He let her go. She said, he's letting me leave. I said, oh, he's seeing you're not nervous and this and that. So you ain't nobody he gonna fuck with that. Right. Because I'm like, shit. 2 of my children and my wife in that car. I gotta get there. But it's gonna take me a minute. You gotta survive till I can get there.
Right.
That's one of the worst things when you're not there. You can't be with your family 24/7. This is why we train them. But she knew.
Right.
Let me call Balagoon so I can direct what to do. And if I had told her, drive off on that mother, she'd have drove. I wasn't going to put her in that position.
Right.
And the children, too. Because they're not supposed to do pit maneuvers on your shit. They do it.
Right.
They'll pit maneuver you and kill your ass. Right. I showed my wife how to get out of a pit maneuver when they're trying to drive and hit you with a pit maneuver. Those kind of things to do with, we got to get better with our technical shit to do to teach that. Because we got to have the camera on the outside of the vehicle. I got to, be able to show you how to defend. That may be something that I show. Okay. My son was at he's a Kappa outside, right? He's at a Kappa event, I think in Virginia or New York one. And a person drove and almost hit people. So he's saving people out the way this person driving across the thing. But he saved people, but his car probably got hit. Boom! Knocked over. They saved his car and shit, and we got it fixed. But those kind of things happen.
he called me even then. That person said, "Where are they? Did you get their plate number?" Blah, 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 blah. They said, "I was busy, taking care of folks." I said, "Once you know folks not dead, or if folks are dead, you got to still get their information of the person that did that. That's your number one thing, because you're not a doctor. So even if they're injured, you can't. You saving them before they get hit, but after you know they safe, you got to get the information on them. And your other partners aren't prepared for that, or you get your partners prepared. You got it? So this should be, and I told them, you all should have a self-defense and survival class that you teach to your brothers on a regular. He said, "Well, could you come and teach?" Sure. If they want me to come up there, I'll come up there to Hampton. That's where he goes to school at, and I'll teach. They want me to come to other cities, as long as they paying for us to, me and somebody else to come up there, room and board and transportation. We got you. We got you. Now at Hampton, I'll go up there myself. That's my son's school, and teach. And they ain't got to pay me shit. Maybe I have to pay something, but I got to pay somebody, whoever goes with me. So if Belay goes with me, I'm like, well, you got to pay me something. I got to pay Belay, and we got to have some place to stay. Other than that,
He only stayed in 5 stars.
and my wife would be ready to go, because that's all she wants to do. and because shit, anytime it's an excuse to go see our day at Hampton, she going.
I know that's your big.
Yeah. So All right.
We're gonna show them one more time how to get out.
Yes. So he's got me here, or he can have me here. That's the typical. You're about to get cuffed right
Yeah,
there.
that's police grip.
That's
right
the
there.
police grip. I said security guard grip. This is the police grip right here.
Nikki, would you say this is also the come on girl, come on about this club grip also? I feel like it. I feel like this is the come on girl, what you're doing.
Now,
That's what that
this here, I will show you how to get out this grip. Thank you, Paul. Because if he's here, now this is different. I move up here and put the barrier, right? But I got to kind of slam the barrier towards it. With police grabbing you like this, you have to be smart. This is simple to get out of, but the situation ain't simple. It's a cop grabbing you. But he's going to put your shit behind your back in a minute. All you do, first they grab you. Say, "Oh, officer, everything good? Everything, what's going on?" My elbow comes over his arm. Come with me, sir. "You need my license and ID?" I don't understand. Now that's why I say this is, because you do that to a cop. This on in pocket. You better be running after that.
Yeah,
but,
you run once he hit the ground.
this, if you want, I can say, "Okay, I'm gonna put my hands up, sir."
Woo!
And
he gotta let go. He gotta
can't,
let go.
Right. He has to. "I'm gonna put my hands up, sir."
He's
What
smart.
I did was, your arm. Now, if your arm beneath you do that, you can still grab tight. You still grab it.
Yeah.
Okay, let me put my.
You gonna
All
let
you
go.
do is your elbow goes over.
I gotta let
Then
go.
put my
I
arms
gotta
up,
let
sir.
go. I gotta let go.
Or you could do this. So you're doing somebody. "Who the fuck? I'm sorry."
Right.
Right.
Real
So
nice.
this comes over
And then he's out.
and you're out. As long as your elbow is over his forearm.
Yeah.
Now, if I lay here,
No, we get it.
now he's going to go down. He goes down, I pull my tool, and I do that. If the Chinese police grab my wrist. Okay. And I'm going to find somebody else besides Chinese police, because Chinese are being bastardized and demonized in American media.
What about the Canadian police, the Mounties?
Yeah, the Mounties, the RC.
I don't know. You know they done found secret Chinese police stations all over America.
All of America, yeah. So, but so you may run into them, but yeah, the RCMP, that's Royal Canadian Mounted Police.
I don't like that.
If they come in and grab,
I don't like Royal. The Royal in their name pissed me off.
and so you say, "What you doing?" And you say, "Hey, you coming to jail me, Ed?"
You
I
come
say,
to me,
I
eh?
say, what do you mean, Ed?
Nowhere.
Hey, what do you mean, Ed?
Let go, eh?
I am. I'm about to, Ed. Hey, Hey, can you see? And when I'm doing this, I'm just making sure you can see because down there may be dark. So I'm using my flashlight to help him see. So I'm thrusting it downwards to make sure you can see. Okay. I just got nervous. We got to press the button, and so But on that too. Hold on. Don't look. See that's the flashlight. And when they tell you to turn it off, you got 5 things to press to turn it off. So you turn that goddamn flashlight off. Oh yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm trying, sir. Sir, I am trying, sir. So you got time to use that flashlight too because you gotta turn it off. If you're nervous and you kind of bring it up and get in this space, I'm sorry, sir. Oh my God, sorry, sir.
Use everything. Use your own, like ignorance, whatever. Hey, my fault.
Use your common sense.
Mm-hmm. I tell my mom to use her age for her benefit when she can, And she was like, she didn't understand that at first, and then she called me one day. She's like, I was at the bank teller, and I think she might have left her ID in the car. That's how she didn't want to walk back, and she said, "Oh, I get so confused now. I'm just don't even worry about it, man. Don't even worry."
Man, we got pulled over by the police in Chicago, and we were driving my sister's vehicle. My mother always sits in the vehicle, so there's a cane in there. So they pull over. Number one, I wasn't driving the vehicle. You ain't supposed to harass the passenger, but they always do.
Right.
Black male too. So I got out. What do you need, officer? I turned to an old man quick on that. And they looking. You all right, sir? I had 7 strokes. Which is the truth? In 2012.
Right.
I didn't say what year. I had 7 strokes. And at one time, y'all too, not like back to back, like I was, or he was doing meth. No, I was not. Because they'll say missing teeth and he had 7 strokes, he was doing meth. No. So, I'll limp over. Like trying to walk fast, but I'm, so he's mean to move fast. And then, look, y'all go ahead, just drive carefully, watch out for the signs, blah, 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 and we went on about our merry way. You have to do that. Because really, they weren't even really aiming at Yellow Boom, they were aiming at me. This dude in this big ass vehicle. Well, he got her driving, he probably had the mug behind it. It's probably dope in the car or whatever. And they know another thing, they stop you, think you carrying dope. Big drug dealers, at least in Illinois, and I imagine New York, LA, the bigger cities, do not travel with dope.
No.
So when they say they're bullshitting, they fucking you about something else. Probably because you're black. But they know you ain't got big dope in the car. And if you do, you just some grunt. You were not a big name person or, I had a dude tell me one time, it's a nice car you driving. Thank you. You got drugs in there?
Always.
Why would I have drugs in there
Isn't it?
in this nice car? You ain't talking about weed. Weed is legal in Illinois.
Piece of joy, right?
So just know that you all too, when they stop you cause of that kind of shit, they on some bullshit.
Jadorian, you're right. Baba is Native American, but that is not a Native American feather. That's just his glasses handle thing.
No. So this is tied to my lock. I got one lock in the back, and I got this tied to it. Y'all feel that be fancy?
They thought it was a feather, Baba. They thought it was a feather.
Oh no. That's tied to my. See, I got this single lock here. And my wife won't let me get dreadlocks. That's a true story. So I in protest, I got the one lock, and then I tied a little fancy thing to the back so everybody knows. Boom. No, this is tied to my glasses, y'all. This is tied to my glasses so they don't fall. That's what that is, in case you know.
Lanyard. Yes, sir. That is a lanyard. TWFs.
And it's made.
A rat tail.
It's made like from a expensive shoestring.
I know. It looks like
a quality material.
Like a quality sock almost.
Yeah. So it's pretty good, keeps on. I tighten it up so much can't just snatch my job. I don't tighten it hardly no more like I normally do because Okikiola, my 5-month-old, oh my God. She pulls this shit out.
While we on here,
so
I want y'all to get ready for. We are having the the Warrior Class Quiz Show is coming up.
Yes.
We're gonna quiz you guys in the chat, and there will be prizes. There will be prizes.
So, you know,
brush up on your
brush
Warrior
up.
class.
Yeah, watch all those episodes. We got 2 years of episodes. So
right.
That's a lot of
I'm
episodes.
gonna ask you some
The
questions.
reason we haven't done it now is because, goddamn, that's requiring me to be looking at
There's a lot of
2 years of episodes.
So there'll be some questions about the episodes. There'll be some questions about some techniques. So
Glasses mean you reading too much. Probably early on, I was reading too much. Yes. My mom would always say, "You watching? What is it? You watching TV at night? I mean, you know what? Come on, all kinds of shit. You gonna have to wear glasses." Well, I did end up having to wear glasses, but it probably more reading. I don't believe too much stuff is genetic when it comes to ailments, right?
you're correct, sir.
But I will say, genetically, all of us have a weak left eye. All my children, me, my daddy, his mama, my grandmama, all have weak
Yes,
left
a
eye.
shirt is a prize.
And so we train. I train mine, so you can't tell that it's weak. Shit, both my eyes is weak now, but I got to wear these goddamn glasses.
And just so y'all know, if you don't have if nothing is, I forgot the correct term to use for your cornea. If there's no injury or if it's not disformed, I think that you can. Yeah, if you don't have a stigmatism, I
You
believe
can train your eye.
you can train and you can work your eyes and strengthen the muscles, and you can come back from that.
True.
It happened for a few people I know. Even my daughter did the least amount. The least amount. She only did it when I called her and said, "Do the figure 8 with your eyes. Just do it. Just do it." And she went and they lessened her prescription.
Also, take care of what you're eating. If you end up with type 2 diabetes, that affects your vision too.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Many people have gone blind. Everybody know about, I lost my toes. You know about people lose their toes. You can lose your vision too. And on losing your lower limb. My first encounter with diabetes was this brother. He's an older brother who rode his bike every day up my boy's block, up Drake. Every day. We're sitting on the porch talking. He riding, it's another thing. But I notice he's wavering on the bike. I said, "Hey, man, you okay?"
Mm-hmm.
And I ain't never seen him just jump on a bike or something. So, "You okay?" And the reason why I look, I said, "Oh shit, your boot." His boot was on the ground, so he wasn't pedaling, but I didn't see no foot pedaling the bike. I said, "Mike," I'm not Mike, I'm talking about Mike. "Ant, let's go check." Sitting on my boy Ant porch. We run down there to check on. He falls. And he looks back because he realized what had happened. I look in the boot. His bottom leg is sticking about the boot. Fell off. It fell off from the lower shin.
Jeez.
I said, "Oh, I was fucked mentally." And they said, "What's that?" I said, "Look." Oh shit.
That's crazy.
So go call the ambulance. He runs to his house. We had cell phones back then, y'all. He calls the ambulance. They take him up. We never saw him again, so I don't know if he died, but gangrene had set in.
I forgot it's cold as shit.
And you got two, it wasn't cold.
Oh,
This was
wow.
like either fall or spring. I can't remember. It was cool out. There are two things, two types of gangrene: wet gangrene, dry gangrene. Wet gangrene, you got that. It stinks to high hell, and your shit's dripping, looking like The Walking Dead. Dry gangrene, you have no indication until one day you're doing whatever and your shit fall off. Take care of yourself, y'all.
Eugene Mason, who's been wanting a shirt for a while, I'm putting this in. You can look on the Warrior Class IG, and there is a site that you can go to. Every time we try to post it in the chat, it just don't work. I don't know what it is.
So he had to be sick though for that. I'm sure he was. We didn't know. There had to be other signs.
Yeah, before
We'll get to that point. It had to be other signs.
Something. Good gracious.
But so the way it was explained to me, The reason why gangrene sets in is because your circulation is less, and so your limb ends up dying. Because when you have so much non-fibrous sugar, that means sugar that's not attached to fruit. Right? It's like what do you call it? Refined sugar, honey, stuff like that raises agave, raises your sugar levels to, it's like your blood is moving like syrup. There's so much sugar in it. You put sugar in water, it can get thick to the point where it pour out like syrup. Well, your blood's doing that. And so it's moving slower than it should. It also causes brain fog, and that's why people go blind, things of that nature. It's the circulation. And so when circulation is not there, cells start dying because they're not getting oxygen, gangrene sets in. And once you have gangrene, you best pray that it's wet gangrene. As gross as that is, at least you know it's there. Dry, you just walking around, you don't know. And when they took him off, I'm sure he was unconscious when the ambulance took him, I'm sure from shock. Because I know, shit, I was damn near in shock. I'm looking at that shit like, oh God, I'm fighting the urge to vomit. Okay. So there are things like I saw a dude get his leg blown off. It wasn't as sick as that. I know why the leg fell. It was blown off with a shotgun. That shit. So just be careful, y'all. That's always been in my mind. And I saw that shit probably when I was 16, 17. It's always been on my mind. And yes, when I was 16, 17, as people watch this years later, we did not have cell phones. I know that sounds crazy. When I was a child, we had rotary phones. You gotta dial like that. You hope it ain't got no nines in it.
I thought you had to call the operator and the operator.
No, well, no. So that
was like the 40s.
No. That was, you could still, I mean, just to do that. Yeah. You could still do that if you needed the operator to help you.
Right.
You go, hey, I'm trying to make a call, blah, 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 blah. Okay, we'll hook you up.
What is it about the sound of that right there when you was a kid? I love the sound. I used to love the sound of that.
Yeah, I did too, but until my mother got pissed, the bill, I was, I called people, somebody now, hold on, I said, yeah, ting, being funny, right? Yeah, probably like, you know, and they speaking Chinese. So I said, yeah, and I'm messing with them and stuff. I said, you got daughter? You have daughter? And they, I don't know why they didn't just hang the fuck up on me. And so I'm saying all kinds of silly, stupid shit, racist shit, really. You got daughter? You got daughter. Why can't I just say you have daughters? You got daughter? And so the mug's going off. And that's probably about 5 minutes. And then finally, Clicky hung up on me. So I'm daddy, I was so funny, This was probably I was about 9, 10. My mother gets the bill.
I already know.
She said, what the fuck? Who the fuck in China did you call? Because by doing that little you can call other shit. And I didn't realize it. I'm just, just playing with the thing. Who in the fuck do you know in China? Nobody. Like, you crazy shit, like $50 or something. You gonna pay this? Because I knew it wasn't me. I said, well, could have been daddy. Put it on my wallet and shit. Could have been daddy. Your daddy ain't called nobody. It's goddamn China. Phyllis and Lisa ain't done it. This is you, Adam. Did you talk to anybody who's Chinese? No, I'm calling. I said, well, I did talk to somebody who's Chinese. They called here as the wrong number. No, you called them. They ain't called here. It's on our bill. Oh, yeah, yes, ma'am. So that's, those rotary phones were cool, but you could really jack yourself up. And also you could call by pressing this, the hang up thing. You could call the number some kind of weird way with that. Then it went to the princess phone. And we thought we were the shit when we had them. And then they took the cord off and it was cordless, had this big ass antenna on it. Oh boy.
That's when the caking went to a new level.
And we would say,
start caking in the car, caking outside.
but we would say, how can anything be more advanced than this?
Right.
Then they come up with the goddamn car phone. Oh my God. How can anything ever get more advanced than this? Now they got the big brick cell phone, the mobile phone. You know, you say, damn, well, the military had that. Now it's possibility. How can anything surpass this? And then they came up with that goddamn flip phone in the 90s. Oh my God, how can anything surpass it?
Start
You can always get surpassed. It doesn't mean it's safer for you though, but it can always, or for the environment or whatever, but knowledge continues to grow and you're going to see things. And you say, well, how can we get past this fast ass fiber and all that? There's always going to be something that we can't see right now that other people's messing with. And most things that you see that's amazing, they got it from science fiction.
If you don't know
Science fiction is dealing with cell phone. Goddamn it! I sent that to you, right, in the 30s. Okay, and just like the cell phones work now, well, somebody reads that and says, I'm gonna make that happen. So your wildest shit that you read is out there. When you wonder, should you read fiction? You should, because fiction tells you what the future is going to be like and not the far future. That's one reason to read fiction. I've always wanted to do a show on fiction is more important than nonfiction. I always wanted to do a show on that on here, but I know I was gonna get, Mud's gonna get pissed about that because folks love their nonfiction. But as far as warriors are concerned, the brain doesn't know the difference between fantasy and reality. So we should study fiction and create it because the brain doesn't know the difference between fantasy and reality, and the fantasy that's being put in our brains is from somebody else, and it's affecting our reality. This is why you have these conversations on here when Mud's just talking like they're goddamn martial arts experts. Okay, because TV is fiction too, y'all. I always tell people I write the best summer blockbusters you will ever read. Not see, read. Okay. I read both fiction and non-fiction, but I understand, and I did an article that was pretty popular back in the day about the differences between fiction, non-fiction, and the importance of fiction and why it actually is more important for our mental development, behavior, things of that nature, than nonfiction. Okay. Nonfiction will tell you, act with good character. Fiction will show you characters acting with good character back, and you begin to make a determination of what's good and bad based on what you've been shown. And that's what we have done. That's proven all the time, right? You watch a documentary and they say, you should act better. You should act good. But you see somebody acting good. You see somebody heroic. In fiction, you act. You see that, and that is what you see as an image of heroism.
Yeah,
people, most black people talk about the Battle of Algiers. Like, that was incredible. And it was. I love the Battle of Algiers. That's fiction, yo. That's not a documentary. That's fiction. But people use that as a goddamn manifesto for how to resist the maniac. I'm sorry, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, like, all those health documentaries out there, it's easy to watch them and say what you're going to start doing, but it's if there's someone in your life who is actually modeling those things, that is a lot of times what you end up really taking after is the person that's showing you how to do it for real. Instead of just the information.
That's why they don't put that in TV shows. Really, people eating well. They put people eating crap.
Right, and joking about it.
A lot of times, a hero is an alcoholic who eats shit food, and then he becomes, for whatever circumstance, he becomes the hero. That's purposeful. When you make a movie, and all of us have been in film, the director will have you walk up the stairs 100 times. Well, that's purposeful. Why? Why is it 100 times? They anal and do it? No, it's because they're trying to present a specific image to you. So it's done. That was Jackie Chan's biggest fucking complaint. He said, he said, go walk up the stairs, open the door. He bounded up the banister, flipped onto the landing, and then opened the door and said, no, cut, no. Walk up the stairs. And after doing it, I want to say 57 times, he finally just, I'm tired. He walked up the stairs, opened the door, cut! That's the one we want. Well, this is a Jackie Chan movie. Why you don't want him to be doing dynamic? Just walk up the stairs, open the door. Because they're selling something with that. When he opens the door, maybe in the background, there's a Coca-Cola sign up there. Maybe it shows the banality of life for an Asian when they come to America if they're not doing so and so. You have to watch it within the context of the whole thing, and you'll understand why. So every goddamn scene. That's why when Jared does, not Emmy, goddamn, what is this? The Burning philosophy, when it comes to film and television, most of the stuff he's spot on. He's spot on because, it's just insidious. But anyway, we don't get to choose our parents. That's why I'm a socialist. American exceptionalism. True Grit. The hero was a drunk, one-eyed fat man. Yes, that is done on purpose. Why was he that? A lot of times they'll show politicians on canes. If any of you watch Warrior, there's this politician, he's on a cane. They do that a lot. The politician is crippled. To say that bipartisan politics are crippled in America. And you show evil people as being crippled. What is that telling people? So people who have physical issues are evil, less than, those type of things. Those type of images are pushed. But so the hero is always two things. Either they are some type of addict who got some type of physical ailment they can like the losing an eye or whatever, or they are just a physical specimen. Your everyday Joe is told you're not the hero. You're not, right? Your everyday, so you're told the master people are just everyday folk. You can't get up and wage revolution. You can't win. They'll show you in these revolutionary shows, teenagers can get together though and fight the enemy. Teenagers can, but your average Joe can't do a goddamn thing. Now, the one thing that I agree with, youth are the ones that drive revolution. Most of Black Panther Party were very young. And when we get down to underground, the BLA, they were very young. These were young people in their 20s putting in that kind of work. But when you say, your average person in their 30s, 40s, they ain't shit. It's done for them. They'll show a veteran. He walked, all the veterans are white men with white hair in the military. He fought in the so-and-so army. He's been a soldier for 10 years, 20 years. Motherfuckers going to the military at 18 years old, 20 years, they're only 38 years old, y'all. But we make that to be a veteran that can lead. He got to be super old. And the ones that, the other folks super young, but the in-between ain't shit. That's what we're being told. Throw them away. Gotta be careful of that. You know, some of our people, old to young, need to be thrown the fuck away if they're not gonna be taught. But if they're thrown away, that's our fault. You know, for the most part, some of our people, they can't be taught. They don't want to be taught so bad that they can't be taught. Right? But most of us are not like that. Most of us can be taught. You know, just when you come in here and you say certain shit, it's got to be dealt with. But it's dealt with, and then you stick around. I'm cool. That same brother who came, and I'm gonna end on this. The same brother who came to the class that couldn't articulate his knowledge he wanted to share. I said, he will one day, and they can bear me witness because I sent you the text. I said, he will one day be either one of my best students, or I'm gonna stab him.
I did not think you were
Time
going to say that.
will
on camera.
tell. I don't have a problem. If he's dangerous to us, I have to defend myself. So he'll either be one of my best students,
It's a
or I'm
metaphor.
gonna stab him. Yeah,
Stabbing is a metaphor.
sure. Yeah, it's a metaphor. Yes, it is. But time will tell. Time will tell if you are a revolutionary or you're a radical. Time will tell if you're going to get shook when shit come your way or you're going to do what needs to be done. Time will tell. Okay? That's why it's key to spend time with each other so then you know folks. When we played the game last night, I put things in there so I could get to know folks. Everybody else who saw it or who played it could get to know folks, and they could get to know themselves. And I can get to know myself. That's key. Time will tell, y'all. See you all next week. Be safe out there. Love y'all. Stay black or whatever it is that you may be. Peace.
There's an active shooter in Henry County right now. Be careful if you're in the area.
So, yes, very. There was a shooter, the scooter shooter last week in Brooklyn. Luckily, we checked on my son because he's in Brooklyn right now. He was fine. Check on your people. Stay safe, y'all.
Stay dangerous.
Peace.
Peace.
Look, this is the wrong one.
Yeah, you're right here.
So anyway, yeah,
You still gotta.
we still here, but
What'd you say?
love y'all. Kalanji's on the screen going beep, beep, beep. So thank you, comrade. And we will see y'all soon.
Until the next Stick It to Kalanja game comes out.
Right. All right, please. Well, Kalanja ain't the man, at least. That's for sure. All right.